Just wanted to make a update video before I pass out because I had a very long flight. Just arrived in Iquitos, staying at La Casona, about to start my ayahuasca journey, and a lot of emotions are coming up for sure. And it's funny, this is very common for lots of people who have done ayahuasca, and that is that once you book your flight and once it's official that you're gonna do this thing, and I know this sounds really weird, especially if you're like a skeptic, and it doesn't make any rational sense, but the medicine starts working, man. As soon as you make that decision, shit starts coming up, and it's been pretty intense. I've like been waking up with like bursts of anxiety every morning, and that could be because of traveling as well. I usually do get that, but yeah, it's been interesting because I've been going through this phase of my life where I'm like opening a new chapter and burning off dead wood and going through the process of letting go what needs to be let go, you know, and especially like anger. A lot of anger's been coming up. I'm on day 25 of NoFap, and I can make a whole video, which I will. I'll make an update stating all the benefits that I'm receiving and strong willpower and all that kind of stuff. But one thing I've noticed from this is like that frustration, you know, because usually when you're everything's good in the world, but now I've got it all bottled up, and it's been so long since I don't think I've ever dominated that sexual energy, you know. So for the first time in my life, I'm really learning to cultivate that sexual creative energy, and it's tough. I know it's only 25 days, so maybe that's just gone crazy and I'm just getting frustrated. And it's just funny how like what you're going through sometimes reflects in the real world. And in Australia right now, it's like one of the worst bushfires in history. Over 1 billion animals have died. And fires are still going. It's absolutely chaos. It's scary, man. I was like smelling the bushfire from my backyard, so I'm sure this would play into the stress. And I just had like some complication with some mates, and yeah, just learning to stand my ground more, you know. And it's just funny how like on the external, all these bushfires are happening, burning all this wood, and in my own life I feel like metaphorically there's a bushfire going on within my own psyche, you know. And I don't even mean that as a bad thing, because of course I trust the universe and I trust the process, and that this is gonna be for the greater good, right? And yeah, coming here, being here in Peru, it's surreal, man. It's been 3 years since I had my last ayahuasca experience, and for those who've been following my channel, you know that I had a very scary trip that left me quite shook. But looking back, of course, on hindsight, it just needed to happen, man. I was such a stubborn, arrogant person that always took that step too far, you know, like chasing this experience. And yeah, it is what it is. It's funny because I thought that I would never drink ayahuasca again after that infamous ceremony, but here I am. Even as scary as that second ceremony was, overall, looking back anyway, it's definitely humbled me, and it helped me gain more tools to deal with darkness, you know what I mean? And it's a weird position, me doing what I'm doing, and it's so new, like being like a, you know, video creator talking about this stuff. And you know, it's funny seeing how things have changed, because I started this channel 5 years ago, and one of the reasons why I started making videos about my psychedelic experiences and personal growth and opening up and all this kind of stuff is because I was frustrated that there were so many people out there who had these profound experiences, but they were too afraid to tell their peers because of their fears of being judged or ostracized or whatever. So 5 years ago, I didn't meet anybody in real life who actually drank ayahuasca. All I knew was stories from Graham Hancock and Aubrey Marcus and these kind of guys on the Joe Rogan Experience, I knew no one. So I came to the jungle by myself, not knowing what the fuck I was getting myself into. Man, ayahuasca it's no joke. It's a very, very powerful medicine. Or poison, I guess, depending on your perspective. But, you know, it's interesting because I'm in a much different place in my life. I'm definitely way more grounded. Like, this whole 3 years has me been just focusing on being grounded as a human and focusing on this physical reality and, you know, and business and friends and just anything that like nothing to do with traveling the ethereal realms and exploring higher dimensions. And not that there's anything wrong with this, it's just that my natural inclination is a daydreamer, you know what I mean? So it completely makes sense looking back on my life. Of course I'm going to be interested in mysticism, shamanism, psychedelics, and exploring these untapped realms. And I went too far into it, like I had too much of a naive mindset of, I don't even want to call it naive, like definitely being naive is a part of it, but it was more like, I guess my foundation wasn't strong enough, you know? I mean, of course a psychedelic experience, especially ayahuasca, can be a brutal experience, and it changed my life, don't get me wrong, especially the first time. But then the second time I came back, when really I should have just been focusing on just like, you know, cleaning my room, just more practical day-to-day stuff. My whole journey these last 3 years has just been really focusing on building my foundation, being anchored and centered, and knowing who I am, and being able to stare darkness in the face and understand it but still hold my own without crumbling and letting fear take over me. That's been a big theme. You know, if you guys have been following my channel, you know that the bad trips that I've had have been really extreme. And you know, some people have commented like, oh man, it seems like all you get is bad trips. Why would you trip on psychedelics? But this is not true, because I don't talk about my positive trips that much, because not that it's not interesting, and I'm sure as time goes on I'll share these like trips that I haven't told before, but it's the dark ones that are like the most important to speak about, not to spread fear. And I hope anyway that I haven't done that. And anytime I speak about something, you know, dark or negative, I always polarize it and then bring it full circle. I think it's very important. You can't just look at one side of the spectrum, whether it's positivity or negativity, without looking at the other, because you're going to be lopsided, there's going to be a backlash, and the pendulum's going to swing the other way. Whereas if you're centered, you understand the extreme ends of polarity, then the pendulum's still going to swing, but you're going to be able to go with the rhythm a little bit more. It's not like, you know, you're on a surfboard surfing a wave. You're going with the rhythm, you understand it, instead of just thinking you're in this calm sea and then all of a sudden a tidal wave hits you out of nowhere, and then you get fucked up, and you know, you hit your head on rocks and you rumble and you almost drown and shit. And this happens all the time, you know, not even just with psychedelics, but just life in general. And to me, this tells me that it's very important to build our foundation before we go into the nether realms. It's going to be interesting. I'm nervous for sure, and I've been feeling a lot of anxiety on this trip, and speaking to Jose really put my mind at ease, because once you get here it's a little bit different, whereas it's more like the anticipation of coming here. You know, I was like sitting on the plane looking out the window and just seeing the Amazon, and I'm like, alrighty, here we go again, here we go. But it's, yeah, and excuse me if I sound low energy, because I am. I've been on a 27-hour trip. I had like, what, 4 stops? So it's been, yeah, I'm just gonna have a shower, go to sleep. I just wanted to record this video, share my thoughts and my intentions and expectations. Of course, it's best to have 0 expectations, but deep down we have some expectations. Of course we do. Why else would we be here? I just wanted to share my intentions and certain expectations and see how it actually plays out, because you also got to be very careful of your intention, You know, be careful what you wish for, because ayahuasca will give it to you, but in unexpected ways. I've always felt that ayahuasca has this wicked sense of humor, and you know, she gives you what you need at the end of the day. Because I left with quite shaky terms with ayahuasca, even though my last couple ceremonies closed the loop and it was like, oh, it was all good, it was a positive trip, but that really traumatic night still stayed with me for a while, you know. And this time around I want to like take it slow, just kind of reconnect with the medicine and myself, and like I'm not here to necessarily face or purge my demons out anymore. It's more just to shed off any unwanted weight. And even again, me saying that, it's the intention. I want to shed off unwanted weight, but that could be it could be something really small and insignificant, or it could be something like really big, you know, like a childhood repressed trauma that you didn't know you had. Who knows? But I'm a little bit more at ease, actually. Like right now, as we speak, I'm not that nervous, just because I'm here. I've talked to Jose, I've talked to a few people, and it seems to work out. Like you hear a lot of horror stories, but I don't know. It's gonna be a crazy decade, dude. 2020. It already is, man. Shit's going down all over the world, on a collective level and on an individual level, you know. So I think this is gonna be a very, very significant experience for me. And I don't know what exactly that means, but I know it's going to be special. I just feel like, I don't know, it's just where I am in my life, kind of gone through this transition into the next chapter. But what I do know is that I don't need to heal or fix myself or anything like that. Even though there is always room for improvement, for sure. That's why we're here. But I guess it's that, I don't know, I guess I had a little bit of that desperate energy or that attachment to healing myself, whereas now I'm genuinely happy. I'm living the life of my dreams. I have the fucking best girlfriend ever. I have my own space at home. I've got awesome friends. I get to do what I want to do. I don't have any mental health problems. I'm like, for real, I'm genuinely happy with my life in basically every sense of the word. And like I said, there's always room for improvement, of course. I still deal with issues, right? A lot of anger, like that's kind of the thing that I'm going through right now. Just a lot of frustration, and this reflects with like how I project it onto the world, but also within myself, because I'm brutally savage with myself. And I think even though like I am this way because I want to self-improve, but I think I need to be more loving towards myself. Love, you know. I don't want to do it out of fear. And I've been way too tough on myself, just based on the fact of how savage I can be towards the world, or certain people, or whatever, you know. And it's no way to live, you know. So there's obviously something there. A lot of anger. You know, and my personality throughout my whole life has been very extreme, and I've always been chasing those intense peak experiences, and this bit me in the ass on the last ayahuasca trip. You know, I had to ask for more when it was totally unnecessary. And you think I would learn my lesson, but I continued down this route until, boom! I had to really, really learn my lesson. And unfortunately, that was just the way the cookie had to crumble, because if it was anything less than that, I don't think I would have learnt my lesson. And you know, it is what it is. This is just my path, and this time around I'm gonna actually like legitimately take it easy, you know, start with half a cup and then see how we go from there. I'm not gonna push myself anymore, and because now, again, like I said, I'm not chasing anything. So now it's like I can let go of those expectations. I mean, like I said, subconsciously, of course, we're gonna have expectations, but for the most part, I've let a lot of that stuff go, and I don't have this desperate need to gain anything, because I know I have everything within. So hopefully this mentality helps me, and if not, well, tell my girlfriend and my mum that I love her. But man, what a way to start the decade. Holy shit. See you guys tomorrow.
I also want to give a shout out to my good friend Jason Stephenson, who does awesome free guided meditations. It's always good to do some meditation training and prep your mind for these type of psychedelic experiences. So go check out the description box below, click the link, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Muito